Little Neck, Great Neck, Dallas, Houston, Guadalajara, Prague.
I know.
If you're not here, we're not doing this. Someone asked me if we're roasting Paul Harry. That's the extent of the roasting.
Oh, come on.
What did he say?
But in all seriousness,
I got 46th place, so...
not just our shul, but the whole community really knows when Paul and Sarah
17.
are away because of their connection to our broader community and all the relationships that they enjoy in that community. Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi,
Take a picture.
creator of the Mishnah, made one of the most apparently irreverent and paradoxical but wise statements about education and friendship in the entire Gemara and Shas. So Omar Rabbi, Harbe Torah Lamati Merabosa. I learned a lot of Torah from my teachers, from my Rabbi. Umei Chaverai Yosir Mehem. From my friends, I even learned more than I did from my rabbis. Umi Talmidai Yosir Mikulam. And from my students, I learned more than both of them. He learned the most from his students. There's another version, a very similar statement, in another Masechta, where it takes out the word Torah. Meaning it's a general thing that's being said, that not only is Rabbi saying he learned more Torah than his teachers from his friends and from his students, but he learned, in general, he learned more from his friends and students. I'd like to focus first on the subject of this statement, Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi himself, because this statement says, first and foremost, something about Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi. First of all, he learned from those he looked up to, his Rabbeinu. That's the easiest, it's the most natural. Secondly, he could also learn from those that he looked laterally to, his friends, his colleagues, his contemporaries. Not everyone can do that. Third, it says that he could even learn from those that looked up to him. He even learned from his students that he looked down to. The opposite of how we would usually look at that relationship. What's special about Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi is that he connected with and utilized all three of these different generational groups. He was a pivot. He cherished his relationships with his elders, his peers, and his juniors. He was the glue or the linchpin that held these generations together. When thinking about today's honorees, one aspect of their life that stands out so distinctly is that they also serve as a generational linchpin. First of all, like Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, Carol and Paul cherish their elders. They are deeply involved with their dear mothers, Millie and Claire. They spend a lot of quality time with them. They're committed to being there for them at all times and are a big part of their daily lives. But they also prioritize their lateral relationships. Their relationships with their siblings. We have Bobby and Rabbi Tzvi here with us, Dr. Bobby, Rabbi Tzvi. And their siblings' families, like the Loffmans, for example, who are here this morning. And they devote most of their energy to the next generation. Their children, Marcy, Cynthia, and Erin, who are all here today, and especially their grandchildren, wherever they may live, is a 5-hour flight an obstacle to attending a half-hour sitter party. not for Carol and Paul. And that flight is certainly no obstacle for visiting for Shabbos or Yom Tov. Or think about the time Paul invests to create his in-depth Parsha packets for them every week. And the luckiest of all is their one local grandchild, Ellie, that gets to spend every Shabbos with Saba and Savta and with us in shul. And Ellie, I have to note, is definitely learning well from your travel schedule because he was unable to be here today because he's out of town. The three-threaded rope will not easily break. Paul and Carol, may the many-threaded rope that you have woven with your care and concern for your elders, your family members, and your children and grandchildren remain strong and unbreakable for many years to come. I'd like to shift to a different aspect of this rabbinic statement about teachers, friends, and students and what we learn from them. Rabbi Isaac Sher, who lived in the early 20th century, was a Musserite and dean of the legendary Slobodki Yeshiva, first in Europe and later in Bnei Brak. And he wanted to describe this special relationship that he had with one of his teachers, one of his Rabbanim, Rabbi Baruch Ber Leibowitz, who was Rosh Yeshiva, most well-known as being Rosh Yeshiva in Kamenetz. He said that Rabbi Leibowitz was such an amazing teacher that he embodied all three learning experiences in a single individual. His relationship with this teacher, Rabbi Sher's relationship with Rabbi Leibowitz, reflected all three categories. Rabbi Leibowitz was his teacher, he was his friend, and he was also his student simultaneously. Their relationship had a multifaceted depth, and that's why he gained so much from being his student. Paul Block is similarly a particularly multifaceted individual. And not only does he possess many, many different talents and skill sets and take them all the way, he often synergizes several of these different and seemingly disparate aspects or facets of his life together into one. He combined, for example, the fact that he's a veteran physician and surgeon with the fact that he's a serious committed Jew by coming into shul every Shabbos with a long list of his patients, the Hebrew names of his patients that he's saying Mishaberach for, that he's praying for. Similarly, he became a Moab, performing ritual circumcisions, making himself available to perform over the years hundreds and hundreds of them valley-wide. He combined his black belt skills and his karate dojo with his love of Torah study and promoting good midos, and created Torah Dojo, which we saw a few moments ago, where he mentors local teenagers by teaching them karate and ending with a 10 to 15 minute Torah class where he emphasizes character development. And Carol is always right in step with all these activities, often joining the karate group after a 2-hour session in Zoyo for a special treat afterwards. Finally, Paul combined his love for tinkering and building with his dedication to our shul by enhancing it with beautiful, practical siddur holders for anyone who wants one. Paul and Carol, we thank you for the example that you set for all of us in the community, for the example you set by looking out for our young adults, encouraging them, learning with them, inviting them, involving them. For the example you set, Paul, by serving as our Rabbi whenever we need you. For the example that you set, Carol, by opening your home to us as guests with your exceptional organizational skills and your attention to detail. For the example that you both set by prioritizing your participation in shul whenever you're not traveling, no matter what may be going on at home. For the example that you both set of how to make time for each other in spite of your busy schedules. And finally, for the example that you both set of pouring out so much goodwill, love, and positivity into our community. Carol and Paul, please join us up here. Photo op.
Get this.
Wait, is it on?
No, it's not.
You never know how to do it.
Get it. Stand up, copy. No, copy.
Phoenix Hebrew Academy and Beth Joseph Congregation are honored to present this tribute to Dr. Paul and Carol Block for their extraordinary spirit of volunteerism on behalf of our shul and school, and all who are involved faithfully in the needs of the community. May the Holy One, blessed be He, pay their reward and send blessings and success for all their handiwork. June 16, 2019, 13th Sivan 5779.
Hi. So the first thing I was told, I'm looking forward to hearing your speech. It's brief. So I realized the only way to make this brief is to say thank you very much.